Finally today, ag producers in several parts of the state have been dealing with an influx of wildfires in recent months. While these fires have been impacting large swaths of agricultural land, it still remains imperative for homeowners, especially those in rural areas, to make sure they're taking steps to help prevent the spread of wildfires. Market Joel producer Brad Mills recently spoke with the Nebraska Forest Service to get some tips on how you can help prevent the spread of wildfires while also protecting your home.
So I'm sure for anybody who's been watching the news, the biggest thing has been the Road 702 fire, which happened, roughly 2 weeks ago. Before that, we had the Road 739 fire. The Road 702 burnt about 45,000 acres. That was in Furnace County and Red Willow County. Before that, the 739 fire was in Furnace County as well and in Gosper County. So it's been a very active fire season so far. What's funny is typically we'd be having this conversation in June all the way up until September because that's a typical wildfire season. But our crews have been going hard since November. You know, the dry summer last year, the record low snowfall this time around during the winter, and of course the high winds that have been happening have led to numerous red flag warnings around the state, and then of course these fires. We have to worry about areas like typically in suburban parts of the town, areas that have like larger lots, for example, where we have more vegetation. That's not so much an issue in our inner cities like downtown Omaha, downtown Lincoln. So for homeowners who live in more rural parts of the state or have larger lots with vegetation on their properties, we want them to kind of take into consideration what they're planting. So in Nebraska, we subscribe to FireWise, which is a model that helps us determine basically a good strategy for what we're going to be planting around our homes. We have 3 different zones that create what we call defensible spaces. We start with what's called the immediate zone. That's within 5 feet of a structure. Within those 5 feet, we want to avoid things like planting juniper, something that's highly flammable. We want to keep our grass mowed, keep it very short around the base of our homes, sheds, decks, you name it. We also want to focus on planting things like perennials as opposed to wildflowers. From there, we move into what we call our intermediate zone. That's 5 to 30 feet away from a structure. The big focus there is pruning. We want to look around and see if we have, trees like limbs hanging over our rooftop. That's essential. We want to prevent the spread of wildfire. If we have an active fire situation, those limbs are coming down, it's obviously a problem. In terms of planting, we'll focus more on, oak, honey locust, elm, still staying away from juniper, spruce, any of the highly flammable sort of plants. From there, we move to what's called the extended zone. That's 30 to 100 feet away from a structure. And that's where we're really going to focus not so much on what's around the house. We'll be looking at what's in our yards. What kind of litter is there? Do we have down tree limbs? Are there branches, pine cones, seeds? These things are all flammable and they can cause a problem. We're not thinking so much about what's going to start a fire. We want to stop the spread of the fire in that area. And this is also the point where we can start looking at juniper, spruce, concolor fir, that we can actually plant those items.